Morning. We are waiting on tropical storm to come here. So it's gonna be a crazy day for us. Potentially, maybe not, it might not be bad. They keep, you know how it is whenever there's storms coming, they keep moving like where the projected eye of the storm is gonna land. And on one side, it's gonna be way worse. Like if the eye of the storm goes to the west of us, it's gonna be way worse weather here. So we're like right on the line, so they keep moving it. And I'm not too worried about anything unless we're on the east side of it, and then it could be tornadoes. But as long as we're on the west side, the only thing we'll have is straight line wind. And the only thing I'm really worried about is this pine tree right here. And it's raining, so hopefully I have footage from another time that I can show you. But this pine tree right here beside our house is 80 something feet tall. And if it falls, that would be really, really bad. So there's Pharaby. I went ahead and I cooked Pharaby's food for her yesterday and broke it all down and froze it like I normally do. I was gonna wait and not do it because I buy the turkey and I freeze it whole, right? Like the whole pack. And I was like, well, I could leave that frozen, but then it made sense because if we do start losing power, then food will start defrosting. And I figured she could at least eat it then if it's cooked, you know what I mean? Like, you know, I don't know. That was what I thought. So we'll see. I have a way to, by the way, y'all know, like I'm really crazy with temperatures and food safety and stuff. So I have a way to check and make sure that, you know, if we did have that happen, that if things are cooling and I decide to serve it to her, I have a way to make sure it's maintained a healthy temperature. The other thing I'm doing is I've been freezing, like making ice, like freezing all of our containers that we can make ice in and just loading up bags and packing it around things in the freezer, because what I've heard is that if your freezer is more full, it will stay cooler longer. So that's my idea, is just to pack any open spots with bags of ice that I'm making at home. And we can always melt that ice. I'm just using ice from the water spigot thing, the tap. So any water that we don't use, I can just melt the ice, right? And like give it to plants or whatever. It's not a big deal. It's not a big deal. I would rather have that like little bit of wasted water than have, you know, hundreds of dollars of wasted food potentially. So one thing exciting that did happen though, last night, Pharaby wanted to paint, and she has asked to paint in, it feels like a really long time. So I was so excited that she wanted to paint, and I feel like she did a really good job. I mean, I think she always does a good job, but anyway, so I'll show y'all what she painted. She was so cute. I'll actually insert some clips of her painting too, because I always just love it. I don't know, I feel like she like has an idea of what she's doing and like thinks it through and stuff. It's so cute. Good job. So this is the painting Pharaby did last night, and I was just laughing because she says this one is done too, and I've tried to give her this one back because I'm like, you know, you have plenty of white space, you could put more. She refuses to paint more on this one, so this is her vision, and I just think it's so funny because this was also her vision. I love how she actually like really cares, you know. I mean, I don't know what this is. I feel like this is maybe birds flying with the sun. I don't know what this is really either, but just the fact that she truly has a preference on how much color is on the page and when she thinks she's done, it just amazes me. I didn't know we were going to lose power potentially for 3 days, so I didn't have a lot of shelf stable stuff for myself. So I ordered a case of beans, like a 12 pack of beans, like a flat. So that's supposed to be here today. And if not, it's not a big deal. I mean, I was just thinking worst case scenario, I could open that and like mix some seasoning in it and have like, I have tortilla chips and flour tortilla shells. And I was thinking that would be like at least something salty if I need it, if we lose power. I hope we don't though. But if we do, I at least want to have stuff. And Pharaby has a lot that's shelf stable already. It was just me. And I have bars and stuff, but I didn't have anything salty other than like chips. And so I was trying to give myself another option. You can't even see. Anyway, there's a tree right here. Not a tree. They just showed an updated preview on the weather, or like a projected model. And we are back on the good side of the storm again. And also we are out of the part now where they're saying 70+ mile an hour wind. Now we're only in 60+ mile an hour wind, which that's still really fast. They're only wind gusts, by the way, but that's still 70+ was like there was no end in sight, where 60+, at least I think we're not going to get above the 60s. Now for me, it's just waiting, and it's just like the mental, like, ooh, no of it, because it is scary, you know, like just the unpredictability of like what could happen, because it could be really bad weather. It might not be bad weather. It might just be wind. I don't know. And that tree is freaking me out. But the good thing is the wind should be blowing this direction, like towards the camera, right? And the tree should not fall on my house, because the tree is on behind the camera right now. So as long as the wind is blowing this way, then hopefully if the tree does fall, it will fall that way. Keep moving the storm. I've been up for like 3 hours this morning. This is the day it's supposed to arrive, by the way. And they are moving the projection like every time I look at the TV, and it's freaking me out, because one minute I'm like, oh, okay, cool, we're safe, we'll be in a safe area, and the next time they're like, oh wait, no, it's gonna go completely this other direction a little bit. And the reason that matters is because one side is gonna spin off tornadoes. And tornadoes, I think most of y'all know, I was in a tornado whenever I was little. The grocery store, we were in a grocery store, me and my grandma were, and the roof got sucked off. Like, stores were gone, like stuff was completely gone, like missing, like it had never even been there, like on our drive home. So, oh my gosh, okay, I need a service dog assistant to tell the story, apparently. Apparently things are still really traumatic. Anyway, you wet. You way more wet than I realized. We went on the porch because I thought it was only misting, and like, she loves the porch. I do too, but like, it means, you know, she's a dog. You know, I don't know why I whisper it. I whisper it like it's a bad word. But you know, little doggy girls have different feelings about being outside than people do. I love it, but it means a whole different thing to her. So anyways, I took her out on the porch because it was only misting, and she's way more wet than I realized. So anyways, but yeah, so anyway, tornado stuff was really, really traumatic for me as a child. Like I said, like stuff was like, I can't, there's just no way to tell you how burned in that's been over 30 years and it's still burned in my memories. And like, I can still just cry thinking about it. But like, the being in it with like the roof of the grocery store being ripped, that part's really scary. But then honestly, like, we drove home, like it was, you know, we were fine. But what the biggest upsetting part was going home, and like buildings were gone. Like just the whole entire corner store was gone. Like it had never been there. There wasn't debris. It was just clear, like a clear lot. And it was there whenever we left. And then also another house right there was gone. And then my grandma's house was actually picked up and moved. It wasn't destroyed, but it was moved. And just, of course, like the trees down and stuff. But because of that, I'm especially afraid of bad weather whenever it's going to be tornadoes. So I am on the edge today because I just don't know what to expect. And it's going to be overnight. And I don't like it whenever it's overnight. So anyways, it's never good anyway. But at least if you can see, you can see. You know what I mean? And at night, oh my gosh. And then with the lightning too, it's just like, oh my God. Anyway, horrible. So we have, Pharaby asked a puzzle. So that's what we're going to do. And then I was having panic problems, so we had to stop doing everything. And she had to help me. And I feel so bad whenever that happens. Because like, I can't help it though. I mean, oh my gosh, it's devastating. It's scary. I mean, that memory never goes away, I guess. That's the thing. That's the thing, is that memory will never go away. And so it's just really scary whenever that's a threat, you know?
Still have power, so Pharaby's having a topple.
I decided to cook this for dinner. I love this pizza, and it was in my freezer, and I think we're probably gonna lose power, so I figured this would be a perfect thing to cook because that way I have a really good meal before power. And also pizza stays good in the fridge, so it should be okay. If we lose power overnight, I can maybe pop it in the freezer and it'll be fine for lunch tomorrow. It's all done and looks awesome. Good morning. So it's the next day. We still have really windy conditions, but the eye of the hurricane moved, and by the time it got to us, it was a tropical storm, not a hurricane. So that was awesome. The flooding, like we were supposed to get a foot of rain, I think, and we didn't get a foot of rain. There's no way we got a foot of rain. So I don't know how much we got, but I would say we probably got like, I'm just guessing from how wet the ground is, I would say we probably got like 5 inches of rain, maybe. This isn't sped up, by the way. This is how fast the clouds are really moving. I am to the west of Atlanta, and Atlanta is flooded. We ended up sleeping downstairs last night until the bad part was past us. Or I think we went upstairs whenever it had weakened enough, and I thought that it had weakened enough for us to be safe. And then this morning, or a few minutes ago, we haven't been up, but maybe like 30 minutes, I got because I took all of my stuff off the front porch, like all my chairs and my tables and all my decorations and stuff. And so I just put all that in yesterday, like early in the day whenever it was going to storm, before the storm came. There was a lizard in there asleep, and I felt so bad for it because it obviously got taken in, and I'm sure it was probably scared. It was great for it though, because it didn't have to experience any of the hurricane outside, but it was asleep in the wreath. And whenever I picked up the chair that the wreath was on, it moved and it scared me. I didn't know what it was. And then it has to be one that has seen us before, because it was totally calm, like, oh hey, it thought it knew me. So I had brought all my stuff in the garage that was on the porch, and I'm out here to bring it back out, and there's a lizard who's wondering what's happening. You slept in here with this for the hurricane, huh? You slept in the house. and I was worried it was gonna jump off the chair. It let me carry the whole entire chair with it. It like rode on the back of the chair. I couldn't film it, I'm sorry. I wish I could have, but it rode on the back of the chair, like on the little arch, like the whole entire way from the garage back to the porch. It was the cutest thing. Whenever I filmed that earlier, I don't think North Carolina had got hit yet, or if they had, I didn't know about it yet. So I just wanted to mention that because I was over here all like, oh, everything's fine. And then, there's like mass flooding and devastation. So that's not okay. The storm got way worse than I realized whenever I was filming. I felt really bad. Like I almost didn't even want to put this up because it's like I'm panicking over nothing. I mean, but no one knows, you know what I mean? Like you don't know whenever they're saying it's coming to you. It could have very well gone more to the west of me, and that could have flooded here too. It flooded like 20 miles from my house. So it just happened to be that we were okay. I decided to share anyway because it was still my experience and it was still a day, and we vlogged it, and it, it was a thing. Thanks for hanging out with us through the storm. It was kind of like, I don't know. I mean, it was really an emotional day for me. So even if we didn't get anything, it was still like leading up to it was still like, really in the feels. So anyways, thanks so much for hanging out with us. I hope you didn't get any damage from the storm. I hope you were completely safe from all of that, and I hope you stay safe from this next one that's heading to us. We will see you soon. Bye.